In the beginning, there was vast darkness, and in the darkness a seed was born. Countless creation stories exist around the world on how this came into place. But for the purpose of our visualization, we will look back at being in our mother's womb and how the seed turned into form and into a physical body, our physical body. Embody your own physical body now. Feel yourself in your own earthly body, for here we begin at our true north, the direction of north with the element of earth. We thank you, keepers of earth and north. We thank the plants, trees, fungi, rocks, caves, minerals, crystals, stones, mountains, animals and other humans, all coexisting as embodied, tangible creations. Just as a seed germinates in the darkness, just like a fetus is in the darkness of its mother's womb, this is how we come into the creation. This is how even planets were initially formed in the black vastness of space, where the countless stars reign. We thank you, Earth, for giving us strength, for giving us health, for giving us groundedness, for giving us the ability to trust, to have enjoyment, to experience abundance, to experience experiences, to have connections, fertility, and to have our own physical body. And as we move to the direction of east with the element of air, we see that the vast dark blackness of space starts to have the shining bright sun, because in the east the sun begins to rise. And as we left our mother's womb, we took our first gasp of air. The very first element we met after experiencing our earthly bodies of the north was the element of air. Air, which comes from the oxygen trees give us, the earthly trees of the north. And now in the east, this new beginning sees the first light where the sun has risen in the east. And from the air, the winds blow from the heat of the sun and make patterns in the clouds, and birds fly with sounds that they make, travelling through this air, as does our own throat chakra communicate and speak and sing. We thank you, air. Air which gives space, air which gives us thoughts, mentality, ideas, beginnings, cultivating new mindsets, for breath, for breathing, for life and living. So take some deep cleansing breaths now as we thank the direction of east and the element of air. And as we move through our medicine wheel, we now come to the south. The south is the direction where the hot midday sun starts to glow. It starts to get warmer and brighter. We grew up from the direction of east with the element of air, and we moved to the south where we continue to grow, realising our own spirit and our own ego have a certain duality to create an entire whole person. Our passions from the element of fire in the south ignited our beliefs and our drive, our willpower, our self-worth and our self-esteem, which fluctuate until some sort of personal enlightenment as a spirit is achieved or not achieved, depending on the ego's capacity to protect or destroy, because fire has the ability to create or destroy. Fire is sparks of joy in our life, fire as the volcanic eruptions we have on Mother Earth, fire from the heat of the midday sun in the south, fire from the Earth's core, and fire from the Big Bang creation story show a polarity of creation with the north. And in our own bodies, in our own earthly bodies, where we have the element of air to breathe, we also have the element of fire. We are made up of stardust, and in our lower bellies, in our solar plexus, is our hara, is our fire in our bellies. And this is our gravity center. This gravity center helps us to be grounded and helps us to have the polarity of the north and the south facing one another in this direction of our medicine wheel. We thank you, fire, for giving us spirit, the spirit in our bellies. We thank you, fire, for giving us creativity. We thank you, fire, for giving us the ability to destroy that which no longer serves us. We thank you, fire, for giving us an ego which allows us to protect ourselves, to have survival, the ego which even allows us to delve deeper into our spirituality and to have our own boundaries. We thank you, fire, for change, for sexuality, for expansion. And we thank you, fire, for giving us our power, our personal power that we can use, misuse, power that we can use to create for good ways, for the highest good of all, power that we can keep for ourselves, for empowerment, or even as power that we can give away, depending on its purpose. And as we move from the south, we thank the keepers of the fire, we thank the keepers of south, and we move to the west which is the polarity of the east which has the air that we breathe. And we move to water in the west, for water is where we have all around Mother Earth, and water is in our bodies as our blood, the blood that pumps around our bodies to keep us alive, water that we need to stay hydrated, to stay alive. The gravitational pull of the moon is what controls the mysteries of the tides of our waters, the waters of the oceans, the waters all around the world. Although our spirit can consume our identity of fire, it is actually water which elevates, which delves into the mysteries of life to remind us we are a microcosm in the macrocosm. It humbles us. Water allows our emotions to flow and allows us to nurture others and ultimately to nurture ourselves. We thank you, water, for streams, lochs. We thank you, water, for riverbeds, seas and oceans. We thank you, water, for ripples. We thank you, water, for huge massive waves. We thank you, water, for shallowness, and we thank you, water, for depth. We thank you, water, for rain, for our tears that we cry to show our humanity and our surrender of ourselves as sentient beings. We thank you, water, for compassion, which moves our intuition to flow. And as the moon shines in the west nighttime sky, where the stars are visible, where the moon is bright as a reflection of the sun, we see more visibly all of the veils between light and dark, day and night, of these mysteries of light and water, the reflections, the mirrors. And because the sun has set in the west, we have this continuation of our medicine wheel. We thank again the keepers of north and the keepers of earth, the keepers of east and the keepers of air. We thank the keepers of south and the keepers of fire. We thank the keepers of west and the keepers of water. And going around in this circle of life, we arrive in the centre where we meet the spirit of the invisible realms, the spirit that is in everything, even though we can't necessarily see it or feel it or touch it with our five senses. Spirit exists. Spirit is there. Spirit makes up everything. Thank you for listening to this visualization of the Celtic medicine wheel. Thank you for your time with the Atlas Mystic.